Ramsey show ending. After show beginning. Waiting for YouTube to catch up. There we are. Let's catch up. And we have audio. Excellent. Start in just a second here. Alrighty. So Ramsey show over. And after show beginning, as I said. And I want to go to my channel. Quick plug for myself. There we go. 374th edition of the Ramsey Show After Show. And if you scroll down, not too far, answering your financial questions with Ramsey Solutions, certified coach Steve Money. That's my weekend stream, 4 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. And this is if you're interested in my other financial content. In the music playlist, which there's 9 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. And after today, there will be 10 because I'm going to debut a brand new live version of a brand new song momentarily. And of course the Dave Ramsey Show After Show, which is this show. Used to be able to do it every day, but then I moved and changed jobs, and so cannot do it. But I can only do it basically when I'm off on weekdays. All right. So let's give it a shot. I guess I can say live from Cabot, Arkansas. It's the Ramsey Show After Show. And a lot of people, when they come into the chat of the Ramsey Show, especially weeks like the past 3 weeks, which this is week 3 of Dave-cation, they always ask, where's Dave? And they don't know, whoops, didn't have that in the right spot. They don't know how good they have it because there used to just be replays whenever Dave would go on vacation. Granted, he didn't go on vacation quite as much, but now that they have other personalities, we get new shows, even if when he is on vacation. So Dave-cation, excuse me. And so I wrote a song about it. And I just finished writing this last night. I've sung it maybe 3 times, so we'll see. We'll see how good it can be. Ready? Can't seem to ever get enough Dave. It's his great advice and delivery I crave. But now that he's away, won't be a replay. There are other hosts that fill in for him. For seniority, there's Rachel Cruz. King Coleman can end your career blue. George Camel snarks while his Tesla's parked in the parking lot of Ramsey Solutions. Dr. John Deloney, Mr. 2PhD. Dave Warshaw paid for $60K and now he is dead free. Dave-cation certainly deserves it. Dave-cation, time to get away. Dave-cation, and we're getting on new show. Dave-cation, Rachel Kendra Camel. Dave-cation, John Deloney, Jay Porta. Dave-cation, we still get a brand new show. Shot at that bridge here coming up after the instrumental, and I love the So this one probably won't be in the music playlist. I'll do another one. Better. Dr. John Deloney, 2 PhDs. And now she is dead free. Missed it. Dave Cation certainly deserves it. Dave Cation, time to get away. Dave Cation, and we're getting all new show. Dave Cation, Rachel Kincher Camel. Dave Cation, John Deloney, Jake Warshaw. Dave Cation, we still get a brand new show. Dave Cation certainly deserves it. Dave Cation, time to get away. Dave Cation, and we're getting all new show. Alright, well that could have been better. Singing is not my regular job. But let's try one that I'll do much better on, having sung it many more times. King Coleman was in the pilot chair today. And his co-host was Rachel Cruz. I guess you know Dave, and you know me, that he is a father. Self-made. He has 3 children. This song's about one of his daughters. Denise and Danielle work from out of public life, but Rachel wanted crowds and cameras, face to face with those facing strife. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz, for good advice that she learned in her youth. Talks about friends when she shows us how to be millionaires. Know yourself, know your money, love your life, not there. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz. The Ramsey Show, the Rachel Cruz Show, where you can see her. That's not enough, then you are so lucky. The Smart Money Happy Hour. She hosts it with George. They have some drinks and a laugh. She has 3 kids' books, Smart Money, Smart Kids. And I'm blind for what I have and where I am. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz, for good advice that she learned in her youth. Talks about friends and she shows us how to be millionaires. Know yourself, know your money, love your life, not there. Guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz. Hosts it with George, and they have some drinks and a laugh. She has 3 kids' books, Smart Money, smart kids, and I'm glad for what I have and where I am, excuse me. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz for good advice that she landed her youth. Talks about friends when she shows us how to be millionaires. Know yourself, know your money, love your life, not theirs. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz mentioning Winston, mentioning conspiracies. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz mentioning Winston, mentioning Target. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz mentioning Winston, mentioning Tesla. And I guess that's why we all love Rachel Cruz. I like to have a good one like that. That's right in my pitch range. That is awesome. Loving that. All right, and this one again is not. And this one is the second Baby Steps song that I have written the words to. If you want a picture finance design, know a guy can help you get debt free. And if you didn't know, he has a show, and let me tell you, the advice is really great for you and me. Step 1, start emergency fund, then it's time to pay off your debt. That's it to the true beginning, smaller sludge, you should be winning, ain't seen nothing yet. You and me, they fun we're reppin'. Hey, look at us, we're baby stepping. This is the way, we're baby stepping. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, then 5, step 6, step 7. We're baby stepping. 1,000 fund, pay off debt, full fund, invest in college, pay off house, build wealth. We're baby stepping. Then you'll be in step 3, saving for emergencies, and that's financial peace. 36 months of expenses, you remain gazelle intensive, then there's less urgency. Step 4, investing, retirement needs addressing, save your kids a college gift. Before you know, your step 6, paying off your residence. Step 7, build wealth and give. You and me, they fun a ribbon. Hey, look at us, we're baby stepping. This is the way, we're baby stepping. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7. We're baby stepping. 1,000 fund, pay off debt, full fund, invest in college, pay off house, build wealth. We're baby stepping. If you pay cash instead of lease, then your wealth will be increased. You can have financial peace. If you pay cash instead of lease, then your wealth will be increased. You can have financial peace. A name for every dollar, that's intention. What up, Matty Bags? Hashtag mention. Do the steps let go of apprehension. I said a name for every dollar, that's intention. What up, Matty Bags? Hashtag mention. Do the steps let go of apprehension. You and me, they fun we're ripping. Hey, look at us, we're baby stepping. This is the way, we're baby stepping. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7. We're baby stepping. If you pay cash instead of please, you can see your wealth increase. You can have financial peace. If you pay cash instead of please, you can see your wealth increase. You can have financial peace. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7. We're baby stepping. 1,000 fund, pay off debt, full fund, invest in college, pay off house, build wealth. We're baby stepping. Come on. Boop, beep, beep. Already did that part live from Cabot, Arkansas. Again, this is Wednesday afternoon, and it is the Ramsey Show Aftershow show. And where is it? There it is. Market report. New highs for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Small cap, excuse me. Russell Small Cap Index up 1.62 to lead the way. Both the Russell and the Dow Jones were both negative earlier in the day. And the NASDAQ was up higher, but you can see it drop there at the end of the trading day. And just I want to look at S&P. You can see that did the same thing for some reason. And buoyed by the market, buoyed by Apple and Tesla today going up. Apple at one point was over 5%. That's what I wanted to hit right there. Apple was up over 5% up today, as you can see. But then dropped. I guess they must have hit a sell point for people in the market. I don't know. Let's see if it says Apple briefly surpassed Microsoft as the world's most valuable company. Yep, briefly. And that's the way they've been going back and forth there. And also in the mix, NVIDIA with their recent rise because of AI. Oh, let's see. I'm looking to see if why that would be. NVIDIA's stock slips. Yeah, I mean it must have hit a sell point because it happened both the S&P and the NASDAQ. And I guess that must be see what it's like for 5 days. You can see pretty good for up 5 days. What is that? Up 8.86% in the last 5 days. 14.38% in the last month. Last 6 months, 943. All right, and so you are looking again for the year. You are looking to beat the 10% that the S&P 500 makes on average. Oh yeah, would help if there we go. All right. Oh, what else did I want to talk about on here today? Oh, I guess we can talk about again, records for S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Oh, let's check out the rest of the planet. Europe, everything up. Asia, mostly up. The currencies, the euro up over the US dollar. US dollar down to the Japanese yen. Japanese yen over the US dollar. The British pound, low, up over the US dollar, and Canadian dollar also up on the US dollar. And the Australian dollarmite up over the US dollar. So a clean sweep against the dollar for the world. And that does seem to happen a lot, where if the market is good, then the dollar does go down. And if the market is down, the dollar does seem to do much better over the other world currencies. What else did I want? Oh, I wanted to check see what Broadcom did today. And look at them. They must have had good, you would think, good numbers. Because look at that climb right there. After hours, 13.61%. And so they would be part of the NASDAQ. And hopefully your large cap managed mutual fund would be the Ramsey advice, the way to have some Broadcom. And then also a stock split, I guess, after they reported those earnings. Beats earnings estimate. So, yeah, great. Good for them. Who was it that is reporting tomorrow? Adobe. All right, was everything up today in the top 6 most followed single stocks on the Google? Everything except the Amazon, down 0.18%. But the most up, Tesla, 3.88%. And they have a lot of high swings in theirs. Um, it's much more so than any other stock. Really, you can see it's over just the past month. It's a lot of up and down, a lot of up and down there. All right, let's see our misguided pals in crypto. Everything up today there. All right, Bitcoin still nowhere near I think it was 70, was it 71,000 that it was at the high, or 73,000? I can't remember, but anyway, now down from that. And so if you bought up at the high, you're losing money, but if you're anywhere in let's do the past 6 months. I mean, if you're anywhere in here, you still made money as long as you cash out before it crashes again. And what I'm talking about, the crash is when it happened right here and crashed, and then it came back up and went to a new high very quickly. Let's see, that is, when did that happen? That low was on July 17th, 2021, and 5 months later, right? 11, 5, 2, what was that? That was 7 to 11. Oh, 4 months later, it was back up to a new high and then crashed again. A slower drop that time, but then it went down way more and stayed down longer. And so here it does seem to be staying up. And so, but you never know with that, because it's not based on anything other than what somebody will pay for it. It's not like a company's stock that is based on the company itself. So you do have something tangible there, not like Bitcoin's just basically like the NFT. Remember NFT? People invested a lot in that. Guess what? Almost all of them lost money because that fad went away, and people really you're just investing in ones and zeros, and so something that's not actually there. Alrighty. I did have this one story from Fox Business. Real estate expert defines housing market doomsday, something we haven't seen in our lifetime. Okay, in this, I did skim this article, and this does seem to be, this is not her defining housing market doomsday. She's talking about something that happened before that we hadn't seen. Let's see what she's talking about. She's talking about, ask how she would define a housing doomsday. Okay, they're probably going to have to be there a little bit longer than we think, and we're just going to have to metabolize them. Oh, the last time if you think about the last time we spent a decade with rates that were sub 5%, which was the 1950s, that's going to be on how she responds to that. So not what like is happening right now, but of course the article makes you think it's going to be something that's going to happen right now. In U.S. real estate, to see slight correction of home prices, and it's I always am skeptical of people that say correction. It's like, how do you know that what it is right now isn't the correct thing it should be at? How do you know that? You don't get to say that. Or even you can think it is overpriced. Like, you can think housing is overpriced. Like right now, let's say overwhelming majority homes in the U.S. are overvalued as steep mortgage rates and an ongoing housing shortage push the price of real estate even higher. Yeah, and so you can't control that, and so you can't just decide, well, in my opinion, houses should be cheaper now, and no, they're not. And you just explain why. If there's a housing shortage, the prices are going to stay up. And so they've never really come down across the board. A couple areas, some different areas in the United States have house prices drops. That has happened, but let's see. New report by Fitch Ratings found that homes were overvalued by 11.1% at the end of 2023. Apparently not, because then nobody would be buying them and people are still buying them. So apparently not. And you can say, well, they're buying overvalued, they're paying too much for it. Sure, that's your opinion, but they are still buying it. And so the market, the demand is what runs the roost here in a capitalistic society. And so that gets to decide. And so when they say a correction, it might go down, it's going to go up and go down. Nobody ever knows for sure. Mr. Ramsey always says you don't try to time any market, and that includes the real estate market. But you just in the stock market, you would just invest on schedule. You invest whether it's up or down, and that way you're okay. You do not try to time it. Let's see. I don't think we're going to see 20 years of double-digit interest rates like we did in the 70s and 80s. I don't think they're even at double digits now. I don't think they're 10%. I think I want to say 7 and 8. Price adjustment could change anywhere from 5 to 10%. Oh, and I didn't see this on where is it? See if it's on the main page here. The Fed holds interest rate steady, lowers forecast to 1 rate cut in 2024, like where people had thought there may be 2. And so they're saying, well, it looks like we're only going to be lowering at one time, and that's not going to be right now. But, and that was enough to cause the market to go up today, or at least play a part in it. What else about the Fed? I was going to say something else about it. And about the forecast. I was gonna likening this to the presidential election. Like, no matter what side, Democrat or Republican, gets elected to the White House, generally the market goes up after the election is over. And that may be just because something. Your guy might not be in the office, but what you're dealing with, whereas before you didn't know what you're dealing with. And the same thing could be true here, where it's not great news, where they're not saying, well, it looks like we are going to do 2 this year. It's saying they were only going to do 1, but at least you know it. And so, but who knows? That's going to be up to each individual trader that is doing that. And most of them are I guess it would be their job trying to time the market, but that's not what we do. Alrighty, time for the questions segment. Chance Strength, 1831, negotiating a hospital bill. Not sure if this is loud here, but trying to help a loved one negotiate a hospital bill they can't afford. Patient has insurance. Insurance company originally had a claim summary for the hospital visit. Occurred earlier in 2024 that showed their total charges, but $0 was owed by patient. Excuse me. Out of nowhere, just this week, all of a sudden, a new claim summary showed up showing the same total charges, but now not several thousand. But you mean now several thousand? Probably now several thousand owed by the patient. Plan was to first have patient call the hospital and ask for itemized bill. Hopefully the total gets reduced just from that. Right, like normally it's not going to be 0 owed by the patient unless you're at your deductible. In that case, it could be. But it sounds like these people are expecting the patient to owe something. Hopefully it gets reduced just from that. Yeah, it could. And so nothing wrong with asking for itemized bill. What would Dave Duflair there? Yeah, you can negotiate it. You can negotiate anything in the world you want to, as long as the person selling you whatever it is will negotiate with you. So yeah, you can do that. You can if you need to, you can make any kind of payment plan with the hospital as well. Alrighty, the bee's knees, 6969, student loan advice. I have $59K student loan. Doesn't matter the interest and doesn't matter the maturity date because you're going to pay it off before that. if you're following Mr. Ramsey's advice, let's bring up those baby steps, or at least this subreddit version of it. Yeah, this is the reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey subreddit, not run by Ramsey Solutions, run by fans. But I think they generally do a good job. They have let me post a few song links in here. And so much appreciated for that. Oh, let's see, where are we at? I have a very good jump. 59K student loan already. Okay, this is the thing. Because I saw this and I thought, okay, but you already have 59K in student loans from what? I'm looking for a change in career paths that might lower my annual income. Okay? So, I mean, see, you should be able to do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. But you know what frees you up to do whatever you want? More so? I mean, you can't just, volunteer and don't get paid anything if you have no other way to pay for all your expenses. You got to have a way to pay for all your expenses. But the thing is, you have to think about that when you sign up for those loans, which wouldn't be Dave's advice anyway. But even if you are taking out a loan, you need to think about the future on that. Like, people don't think about, oh, I might not like this after being in school for it for 2 or 3 years. I might not like it, and I might want to change it. So all that money's wasted. Let's see. I'm looking for a change in career, and it's better to waste. If it's your own money, if you saved up your money and you pay it, and then it's a waste. That's fine. That's on you. That's just what we call a stupid tax, and it's still going to be stupid tax, but it's stupid tax in the form of a debt, which is the worst kind. So I'm thinking about how I should handle my debt. You would pay it off. You would save cash for the remaining school. So, I mean, and if necessary, you take some time off of school and work and save up the money. And the thing to do first would be to cash flow school and just pay minimums on these, which is going to be rough. If you insist on not taking any time off. So that would be the idea, is to not add any more debt to it other than the interest, which is going to happen, but not to add any more debt to it. And so from now on, if you're going to be taking Dave's advice, that's part of baby step 0, as I always say every episode, is to where you decide loans are not going to be an option anymore. Debt's not going to be an option. Let's see. Student loan is the most substantial debt I have outside of my mortgage. Yep. Question. Okay, so you have other debt too. So you need to get off the debt train first. And if you want to follow Dave's advice, which is a proven, millions of times over proven way to vastly improve your finances, if not make you a millionaire, it still vastly improves your finances. Question is, should I use the majority of savings to pay off this student debt now, or should I still pay it off over time and keep my savings? Savings are also my emergency fund. Well, if you have a student loan, if you have other debt as well, you're only keeping $1,000. You shouldn't have more savings than $1,000. So if you're familiar with the baby steps, you're doing them all wrong. Absolutely. But maybe apply your situation to the baby steps. You don't apply your situation to the baby steps. You apply the baby steps to your situation, and you do the baby steps. The baby steps don't change the order. You do them in the same order of all your stuff. And so it covers all of this. It says the emergency fund should be only $1,000. It says that. It says pay off. This version in the subreddit doesn't say non-mortgage debt, but Dave's does. Where is it? There it is. I'll pay off all debt except the house using debt snowball is step 2 right there. And it just tells you exactly what to do. So you pay off all of those, And now what it doesn't tell you is steps 1, 2, and 3 are in order, one at a time. You do not move past that. You do not, when you're doing steps 1, 2, and 3, you do not, oh, also, I'm going to invest because that's smart. Nope, you don't do that either. You don't invest. You don't do 4, 5, and 6 until after you finish step 3. 1, 2, and 3 in order, one at a time. Baby steps 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time, but still in order at the same time. And of course, you skip ones that don't apply to you. Like if you don't have children, and if you're renting, 5 and 6 wouldn't apply to you. And so that's an easy way to get to step 7, and you're in step 7 until you decide to save a down payment for a house, if you ever do. Gains on 2 wheels. Am I too late? 25 man, never too, if you're breathing, it's not too late. 25 man, 2024 has been the first year I've even looked into financial intelligence, tackling debt, and just overall being better with my money for the future. Well, that's good to think about it, and that is a lot younger than a lot of people make that move with. Some kind of preposition to incorrectly in the sentence with, just like it did there. I make $75K gross annually and reside in St. Petersburg, Florida. Got nearly $35K in student loans that I'm only making minimum payments on, and $7.3K in credit card debt. Turned 25 and had this panic feeling that I started too late. Nope. People, all kinds of people, like this gentleman right here talking right now, started this way later than 25, and it was about 25 that I listened to Dave in my car every night when I was driving between arcades, fixing arcade games, and I would listen to him every night. Stupidly didn't think it applied to me because I didn't make the amount of money that people were making. Like at that time when I was 25, I was not making 75K. And so, you know, I mean, if this person called in and said he was doing that, I was like, well, you know, the baby steps don't apply to me. This advice, I know it's good advice. I can understand it being good advice. I understand all why, but I don't know how I can do it with the low amount of money that I make. So let's see. Started too late to tackle my debt and set myself up for a successful future and financial independence. I don't have a savings account, I guess, and just started a 401k with my job a few months back. Okay, so you're doing it wrong, but just looking now into this, maybe you didn't know that, so you kill the 401k contributions. You can get back to them once all your debt's paid off. Struggle being able to grasp the idea. Oh, is this what it is about? Is this what it's about? Not investing? Let's open up the rest of it. I struggle to grasp the idea of tackling my debt while putting serious money into savings for my future. Yeah, no, it doesn't say to do that. So if you read the baby steps at all, I don't see how you would get that you do that at the same time. I mean, true, it does not say 1, 2, and 3 in order, one at a time without moving forward to the later baby steps. It does not say that, so I guess I can understand it, but I look at this and it says, to me it says do this one first, and do this one second, and then do this one third, and you don't move on until you complete the last step. And to me, I would make the mistake the other way, and well, I would figure it out because I'm smarter than that. I would figure it out because it says invest 15% of your gross income into retirement. That's not something you can do all at the same time. So you can't do that, you know, because then you would only start saving for kid college and paying off mortgage early at the end of your life. And that's too late to do that. So I would figure that out on my own, that you do all that at the same time, because that seems obvious to me. But again, you know, Ramsey Solutions Certified Coach, I guess it's supposed to be obvious to me at this point. But tackling my debt, well, you're not doing that. Yeah, you're not doing that. While you have to concentrate on one first, and the most important thing is to get rid of the debt first, which is why that's baby step 2 and investing is baby step 4. See, the things that stop money going out of your account are first. And that would include you having the starter emergency fund, so that you're not using non-emergency fund money for small emergencies. And then you would pay off all debt. And then the full emergency fund, again, that keeps your cash flow from not going away because you would have the emergency fund backed up there. And so that's not retirement savings, sure, but that takes care of more immediate things because you're not retiring right now, especially at 25. My goodness gracious, you got 40 more years. So if you pay this debt off in 2 years, you'll still have over 35 years, 37 years to invest. And so that will be plenty of time for you, sir. And if you follow this, making 75K gross, and no reason to think that won't go up some, but even just at 75K gross, if you follow these steps, follow Dave's advice, this 25-year-old will be a millionaire. So definitely not too late at all. All right, avionics engineer 06, retirement savings by age question. These are the commonly. Yeah, I mean, you can't really, I mean, you can look at this and, the over planners might be into that. But I just say make as much as you can, do as much as you can. And then, you're in control once you get baby step 3 done, you're pretty much in control. If you have the mortgage paid off, you can invest more than 15% at that point. Let's see. So at least one time your income at 30, 35, 40. And so it just shows you there, and that's based on like something. I don't know what it's based on. I guess it's based on like, average inflation rate, maybe something like that. And so it's only, but any of these types of questions where you're planning. And that's why making the most you can, the financial bros do not like that advice, though. They said, oh, that's some kind of plan, make the most you can. I said, how is that less helpful to tell you to do that than making up some arbitrary number to withdraw like 4% and saying, oh, that'll be enough for your expenses? You have no idea what people's expenses are going to be in 30 years. So you have no idea. So you can't come up with a number like that. So deal with reality, make as much as you can. And then, as far as Dave's advice, the whole big, 4% versus 8%, if it's making average 10% a year, like the S&P 500 is and has throughout its life, if it's making 10, you can certainly take out 8. So, and that's what Dave is saying. And, the people are like, well, what if it doesn't? I'm not going on what if it does this, what if it does that. I'm not running 800 billion scenarios. I'm saying it has done this average over its life. And so, if that's not good enough for you, you can delve more into it. But you also don't know, no matter what numbers you put down in your spreadsheet or program or whatever you're doing with it, whatever numbers you put down, you do not know two things. You do not know what expenses are going to be for the person retiring, yourself, or if you're doing it for somebody else. And the other thing, you do not know how much you'll have saved up in retirement because you don't know how well or how bad the market will be either. So you have no idea. So it's great. You can plan ahead, but even people that plan their debt payoff, they have no idea because you don't know what's going to happen between now and then. Because you could end up making a lot of money, you could end up having a bad luck, and so forth, and then it ends up taking more time. Hopefully that doesn't happen, obviously. But most people, once they start doing this advice, and stop trying to make the plan better, and stop trying to overplan their whole entire life while they're on step 1 or 2. that seems to work better for them, and most people get out of debt faster than they calculate. So, this doesn't really matter. Oh, I didn't even see did I see what the question was? I don't think I did. I've been known to do that. Let's see. How can one who had good discipline throughout their younger years and made them millions? How can one do what? Oh, now be far behind because a matter of 3 years. This is why you don't go by this. This is why you don't go by this. If your investments are making the same, and the target, of course, is the 10%, and managed fund would be making more than the 10% if the S&P made 10%. And here lately, like 15 out of the past 20 years, the NASDAQ has made more than the index, and then a good large cap fund can even make more. A managed large cap fund can make more than the index, which has been the case like out of the last 5 years. I think it's been like 4 out of the last 5 years where that's happened. Had that one down year. But let's see, VA pension, you'll be receiving 54K of income in a VA pension that I will. Well, you don't know how much that pension is going to be per month, so it doesn't say that, and I don't know how that will be calculated if that's for everybody with a VA pension. So I don't know that, so I don't know how to figure that out for this person. Let's see, all tax advantage accounts are maxed out. That's all you can do. As far as tax advantage, as far as actual retirement accounts, you can invest more. As long as your house is paid off. As your house is paid off, that'll help you more. I mean, you start thinking about stuff like that you know that having a paid off house is going to keep you from having to pay mortgage or rent. And so that is great in, and they are doing a taxable brokerage. Okay. And that is great in retirement where you don't have to do that. You don't have that expense. Even with that, it will still take time to get back on track. Thoughts on increasing income, making your retirement goals out of whack with common advice. Well, you don't have to take lists like this and apply your life to it. You don't have to do this. Because guess what? This is the internet. There could be good lists and there could be bad lists. You just don't know. So the internet's a crapshoot as far as that's concerned. Even if you click on this and read the 26 comments, some of it's going to be good advice, some of it's going to be bad advice. That is the nature of the internets, and especially the Reddits. Mr. Ramsey, not a fan. Feisty answer, 1494. Do I use my emergency fund to pay off debt? We had a recent question. I don't think it's this one. Sometimes the questions do change location, because I start with the last one that I did on my last live stream, which was answering your financial questions, the weekend show that's at 4 p.m. Eastern Times on Saturday and Sundays. And so sometimes they do switch spots, but every so often you do get these. Do I use my emergency fund to pay off debt? And so, to my mind, logically, and I think I've said exactly this before, it says save $1,000 as fast as possible in step 1. Now, if you were supposed to turn right around and use that to pay off debt, then why have a step 1 at all? It would just be, paying off the debt would be step 1 instead. So I don't get how people can even think that. And see, the problem is, and this is especially with people that get all excited about this. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But once you decide you're going to do that, and the initial adrenaline from that rubs off or burns off, there's not going to be anything else you can do besides work. And then you sleep, and then you sit around and not spend money waiting for the next time to work in order to save up the starter emergency fund and pay off the debts. and save your full emergency fund. So you do have a lot of time to overthink things, and you're thinking about, okay, I'm on step 2 now, so pay off debt, pay off debt, pay off debt, pay off debt. And you say, oh, I got this starter fund here, baby emergency fund here, but I'm supposed to pay off debts now, so why wouldn't I use that? And so, but again, that would not be, save $1,000 would not be the first step if you were supposed to take every bit of savings and apply it to the debt. Now, if you have more than $1,000 in emergency fund, yes, then you're just doing it wrong, because guess what you did? You skipped to baby step 3 incorrectly before you paid off all of your debt. So you're doing it wrong. And again, it appears that, I mean, maybe people aren't even reading the baby steps, but it appears that they have to say, do steps 1, 2, and 3 in order, one at a time, and do not do other steps. Some people, of course, will still do them, but that would help some of this. I don't know why people get so confused about that. And sometimes it's because they want it to be true. They want that to be the way to do it. Let's see. I'm 19 years old, 20K emergency fund. Yeah. So either didn't read the baby steps. Whoops. Did I do that? No, we're good. Okay, yeah. Either didn't read the baby steps at all, or I got confused somehow. Either didn't understand them or didn't read them at all, but save $1,000 as fast as possible. That's first. And you do that first. You pay minimums on the debt while you're doing that. Then once that is done, all that extra cash that you were applying to baby step 1, now you apply to baby step 2, and that's where the snowball rolls. The more debt you pay off, the more of the minimum payment money you'll have to apply to all the other debts. And so that's how the amount gets larger that you are applying first to all your debts and then to the emergency fund. Now, granted, could have had a 10K, a 20K emergency fund to start with before she found Dave, but then you apply, you don't try to fit it in with what you've already done, except to change what you've already done if it's wrong. And so you would take that 20K down to 1K, and then you paid off most of your debt right there, because you only have 22K in debt. So after you do that, you would owe 3. You would have $1,000 starter emergency fund like you're supposed to. You're not supposed to have step 3 done before step 2 is done. No. Bad feisty answer. And so you would only have 3,000 more to go. So, and that's going to happen very quickly. So once you do it right, and then you can rebuild that emergency fund. And let's see. I'm not sure what to do. I want to start heavily investing, trying to move again to another step. I want to start heavily investing as soon as possible. Do I need to get rid of this debt? So understands that much, that the debt has to be gone before you can invest. Understands that much, but doesn't understand that, oh, I'm only supposed to have $1,000 while I still have debt. So yeah, you put all of that on the debt, and that is the best approach to that. So I don't know, 92 people, hopefully people were able to articulate that to the person. Cole is Bay. Buying a house versus condo. 34 female, still paying off some debt, but getting there and blessed with good income. I'm planning my life ahead of time, which people are going to do that. I've done that too. I don't put as much debt and, as much thought or illogical thought, at least, to the planning ahead. Let's see. Blessed with good income after the debt's paid off and saved up emergency fund and a good down payment. So that's a ways away. So you're trying to plan off stuff with, you still have paying off debt. You got that to do. Full emergency fund, you got that to do. Down payment, you got that to do too. That's 3 steps that are going to take a while. You'd like to buy a house in the next few years. You make good income, so that is possible. Since I understand from listening today that a house is a way to park a major asset. Well, I don't know that he necessarily says that, but it's definitely a big part of most people's net worth. Let's see, plus when you pay your mortgage, you're paying yourself, unlike when you're paying rent. Yeah, well, you don't let that, trying to get that equity, you don't let that make you decide to buy a house before you can afford it. I want to start small, like small paces, and don't want to be in house debt for long. I want to have the whole thing paid off quickly. My question is, should I do a house or condo? Condo is fine to do it first, but then now you have to do 2 different loans, probably, and then move. And then you have to sell a house before you can move to the larger house. And so then you got to do 2 moves. And so you might get into a house quicker if you just do that. Granted, you won't have the place quicker, so it's got to be one of those times where you where you tell yourself no, which is a lot of this, especially the early baby steps. You're saying no to spending the money on other stuff instead of paying off your debt and filling your full emergency fund. So let's see, should I do a house or condo? Normally, I would recommend that most people would wait and do house. I'm worried that a month of condo fees defeat the purpose of purchasing. Yeah, I mean that's going to add to it. Or purchasing a smaller home instead of a bigger one. Any wisdom on this, and or sense of what Dave would say? Yeah, I would point this person probably toward a house, and as soon as you're only limited by your speed on the baby steps. So you get steps 1, 2, and 3 done, then you can do step 3B, one of the missing baby steps. Step 3B is to save that down payment, and then at that point, you have a choice to make as well. So you're oh, this one. Oh, it was the other one that said investing. I thought this one said brought up investing as well. Okay, this one didn't, but this is your chance to start it, but it's up to you. You can hold off on investing for 2 to 3 years and save up a. Oh, it wouldn't. It won't let me select this empty space there for step 3B. So, but you can save up a larger down payment faster by not investing for 2 to 3 years. And Dave is fine with you being out of the market for only 2 to 3 years. And he has definitely said that. And if you live in a high cost of living area, you're going to have to do that. A lot of people have to do that these days to save up a much larger down payment to get their mortgage down to within Dave's guidelines. And that is what you should be going by, definitely. And don't buy too much house. And it has to be on a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. All right. But yeah, generally it would be house, unless you're just dead set on getting something right now. If you gotta have it, I mean, you can have it and it will appreciate some, but you are correct about the additional condo fees, etc., and any other drawbacks condos may come with. Humble Tap 532, easy jobs. All right, got a second part-time job working overnight. I used to have one of those. Actually, I mean, the one I have now isn't bad either, but the other one was. The previous one was way easy. I got a second part-time job working overnight. Excellent. In a home health setting. My client is so easy, and I have minimal things to do, very minimal things. So I find myself very bored. I can only watch so many Instagrams that are on the gram, or him. Does anyone have any ideas on side jobs I can do from my computer that I can set down and walk away from, and that don't require talking on the phone? Um, yeah, there are some. There's, for example, there's a site called User Testing, and basically you're just giving your opinions on websites and apps and stuff. And normally it's unfinished stuff. So basically, most of the time you're looking at pictures and such. And they pay by the test, so you can like just take 10 minutes if something happens and you uh, can't finish it right then, like if some kind of emergency happens, uh, you can just pause the recording of the test. But you do have to, like on most of them, you have to keep talking and keep giving your opinion and so forth. So you have to give your thoughts as you're looking at things, so they can test. And basically it's just for like a user likability stuff for the websites and apps and stuff like that. And that site again is usertesting.com, and that is $10. They pay $10 for like a 10-minute test. And so, that's $60 an hour, basically. And so that's, it is hard to be qualified because you do have to qualify for the individual test. And they have like different things that you like what field you work in, age, and it just depends on the particular test, what kind of things they're looking for with that particular person. But you could try something like that. And there's like survey. There's websites you can do surveys. There's other things like what is it? Amazon has one. I can't remember what it's called. Where you do like certain tasks on the computer for them, and you get paid. Like it. I mean, that's much smaller, detailed work, I think, and you don't get as much from something like that. But if you're not doing anything else, a little bit's better than nothing. Alarmed Hearing 9722. I'm tempted to skip baby steps 4 and 5 to completely pay the mortgage. Now, Dave would say you can do that if you can pay it off in 2 years. He has said that before. If you can pay it off in 2 years, fine. Because that's not that much time out of the market. And then with no mortgage payment, if you have kids even, you would be able to save up money for them to do that. But if you are having, let's see how much, I could skip, like try to say I skip 4 and 5 and get the mortgage completely paid this year. Yeah, do it. So, I mean, it's already June, so you can pay the mortgage off in 6 months completely. Go ahead. I will allow it. Done by Christmas. Otherwise, it'll be done about 2 years more. Yeah, you can pay it. Go ahead and pay it off. Usually, Dave stay on track with the program, but I came across one newspaper article in which you said that since the couple was so close, yeah, that's fine. You can do that. Absolutely. Outrageous month 355. Paying off debts before investing. That is the plan. That is, you understand the baby steps. Look, the person understands it. Doesn't like it though. I can tell already. Doesn't like it, but understands. Yes, step 2. Oh, that comes before step 4. Oh, that means I can't invest now like I want to. All right, let's see. Trying to understand the thought process here. Hello, everyone. Hi, guys. I'm new to the subreddit, but not that new to Dave Ramsey. I read Entree Leadership and seen his TikToks, but not as familiar with the intricacies of the baby steps. Well, watch the Ramsey show. That would help. Also read the Total Money Makeover. That does a better job of explaining the baby steps than Entree Leadership, I believe. Entree Leadership is start business and leading employees or any type of group you're in. I recently graduated college, started working a good job, I have an emergency fund, and can pay all my expenses. Thank God. All right. That being said, I'm having a hard time reconciling paying off student loans. Interest rate on them averages 5.3. It doesn't matter. Instead of waiting until they need to get paid, this is primarily because I spent the last year and a half of my life investing money in them, which you shouldn't have been doing then either. So if you're not that new to if you're not new to Dave Ramsey, you understand he's the no debt guy. And so you would think you would know that already, but let's just pretend this person had no idea, and EntreLeadership doesn't say anything about being out of debt. So let's just see. Let's see what he did. Primarily because I spent the last year and a half of my life investing money in a mix of stocks, crypto, both of which Dave also does not recommend. No single stocks. You can get all the stocks you want inside of managed mutual funds if you're saving for retirement. He does index fund for saving for a purchase. That's where he puts all of his real estate buying money into the market in an S&P 500 index fund. And the rate of return has been significantly higher than the rate on my student loans to the last year and a half. Yeah, the market's been gangbusters, yes. The point where I theoretically could pay my student loans using interest from the investment. Well, not if it's a retirement account. So maybe it's not a retirement account. So yeah, you would cash that all out and pay that debt off then. If that's the case, why not take out from my paycheck to pay for those loans, especially if they are deferred? I know the market doesn't go up forever, but for someone young like me, I feel like I have time coming from a place of wanting to learn and respect for the process. Okay, well, the process, sir, as you can see here, step 2 is right there, and step 4 is right there, and you don't do step 4 until you not only have step 2 done, but you also have step 3 done, and that's 3 to 6 months of liquid living expenses. It cannot be in the market. Your emergency fund cannot be invested in the market. So, yep. So, like, you know, anybody watching Dave on TikTok, I'm going to go ahead and say that probably they're going to be hesitant to want to stop. They're going to want to pay minimums on debt and invest. And that, of course, is debt leverage, which EntreLeadership book maybe didn't say anything about debt leverage either. So he needs to watch some of the Ramsey show, or she, and read Total Money Makeover. Nice. Testicles, all right. Patting myself on the back. There was another one called this. Like, it was months ago, though. Because I did the same thing. Did the same bit. I don't know if you noticed, but I do the same bits all the time. 27 years old. Doesn't say if it's a man or a female. Just want to have a rant to celebrate where I've come from and where I am now. Yes, I have water all over under my nose. In the last 12 months, I've gone through periods of unemployment. I've worked a part-time minimum wage job, which just covered my rental. In January this year, I had $4 to my name, and I was sleeping on my brother's floor. I then got a great job at publicly listed, which I was swiftly retrenched from. What kind of language is this? From when they closed the division. 6 weeks after being hired, when I patted myself on the back, I made my tag stick up. Sorry. I came out with vengeance after this, and had 3 job offers in 2 weeks after knocking on people's doors. Great. Okay, we did that, and that happened. 3 months later, I have 2 months expenses and emergency fund. Okay, hopefully no debt. Not seeing any mention of that. I've always been a listener of Dave Ramsey, which helped me through these trying times. I took out $200 in debt from my brother. Don't borrow money, especially from friends or family, and also don't be the lender either. Interest free, for which was swiftly paid back. Paid bank. I can't thank my brother enough for helping me during this time, but because of emergency funds, living on beans and rice, I came through it. I was eating 1 meal per day, usually rice or pasta, often sauceless. I knew the mentality would get me through it. Immensely proud to be where I am now. Okay, great. And that was patting on the back. Cool. Glad you got through that, sir. Say yay 9. Should we sell our house to pay debt? And sometimes you have your house already when you discover Dave's advice. And sometimes if your debt is that bad, it does make sense to move down in house. So, but it depends on the situation. Also, it could be a situation, if it's close, you can also do a thing like keep the house, but sell everything else or sacrifice in other areas. So let's just see. This is going to be a longie, I bet. Not that long. Double space there. Just makes it seem like it's longer. Like the title says, should we sell our house to pay off our debt? Current debt is $48,800. Where's income? Boom, 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 boom. Net around $95K a year. $95K and $15K from a rental. Sell the freaking rental. Let's see, mix between credit cards, personal loan, student loan, and income tax. Discovered Dave about 6 months ago. Read Total Money Makeover. Paid off around 10K since then. 10K over 6 months. That is 1.9, 1.8, something like that. K. $1,800. Make $95K a year. $1,800. And that's net too, so that's a little light. Let's see, why 2 kids, 3 and 16 male. Okay, so 2, you could, you would look at the expenses and see what activities the kids are doing and so forth, and maybe those have to be cut out or cut way back, or you have to pick their favorite one. They have to pick a favorite one. That kind of thing. Let's see. Bought our house in 2019. We put a basement suite in and rent it for $825 a month. So that's your $15K. Nope. Plus $15K from rental. That doesn't include this $825 then, or he did the math wrong. 2 years ago, we moved out to rent from a family member and rent out the top portion of the house. Okay. Click $825 from the basement, $75 from the top monthly, total $3,400 a month. We pay $1,500 a month in rent. Mortgage is $1,600. So both what they're getting is covering their rent and the mortgage. So, I mean, that's working, but if one of those people move out, then that's no longer happening. So your mortgage is covered, and you still have only put, what do we say, 800, no, 1.8. Yeah, 1.8 K a month still. So spending money somewhere. Boom, boom, boom. We can put $2,500 to $3,000 on debt a month. Well, why haven't you in the past 6 months? That would mean 18,000 would be illogical, Captain. That would mean 18,000 would be put there, unless you haven't gotten Gazelle and now you're going to. Let's see, eat organic food in it by large. Yeah, see, that's your it's going to take longer when you make decisions like that. No vacations planned. That's a good one. Problem is the house we're in is making us sick. Mold issues, especially our youngest. Oh, that's 16 months. I was thinking 16 male there. Okay, so three-year-old and a 16-month-old is not going to be a lot of expenses. You're not in activities at that point. You don't have daycare. So I'm looking at this budget. Can't find anywhere else to rent, and we live an hour away from the house we own. See, all this moving, constantly moving and stuff. I mean, these are your decisions, and that affects your life here. All of this moving and renting it out instead. I mean, that you have to pay for that, and that's called stupid tax. And so let's see, could sell for 450 to 475. Oh, 270K. Oh, so yeah, so didn't include that in the amount of debt previously, I don't think, did he? No, 48,000. Yeah, so that's in addition to the 49,000 almost consumer debt there. So 270, that would be the quickest way to fix it. Let's say low end, we clear 180K, pay realtor and debt. We may net 110K. Yep, use their down payment and start again, this time with the Ramsey principles. Yeah, you can do that. Or should we find a way to hang on and pay the debt roughly 18 months debt free? Yeah, if you can do what you haven't been able to do so far, because you haven't been putting 2,500 to 3,000 on it on debt a month. So I don't know what has changed here since in the last 6 months. Maybe there's some kind of change. So you certainly can do that. The selling the house does get you completely out of debt immediately. But a year and a half isn't that bad, but I'm concerned that whatever made you not put down or put $25 to $3,000 on debt a month in the past 6 months, I'm concerned that would come back up again. It's been really a long couple of years, and it would be hard to see our kids stay here any longer. Sorry for the long post. Appreciate any input. And yeah, and if it's got mold in it, it's actually making you physically sick, and you're not, and the baby, sure, and you're not exaggerating it, then yeah, sell the house and get out of there to somewhere else. Or if you really want to keep the house, then you would, you can't do that because you apparently can't leave where you are. And why not? Did you move for a job? See, that information is not in there. Moved out to rent from a family. Oh, so they're also renting from a family member. Unless they moved again. So got some missing chunks in here. But in general, selling the house gets you out of debt completely. And can get you into a house with no mold fairly quickly. And so that would be probably my advice on that. The other thing would be move back to where the house is, but probably I would not recommend that nearly as much. And so first place is to sell the house because that immediately gets rid of it. And it seems like since you put that first, you are amenable to that. So I'd recommend that first, and then second would be the 18 months, and you definitely getting out of debt in that 18 months. No slacking like you did the last 6 months, apparently. Again, unless something changed that I didn't catch there. And then third would be to keep the house. Because there's no need to have a house in a different area than you're in. The only time that would happen is if you own multiple properties and have a company managing them for you, and so you don't have to be in all those companies in all those places. So, and you are losing money to that too unless you're managing it yourself, which also can take a toll. Alrighty, crazy when sober. Best savings percentages for teen. All right, son is 14. He has his first real job. He wants to start a Roth IRA too early. A lot of people, even in the Ramsey Show chat, a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, kids should invest right now. You should open something for your son. You open it right now. Open an investing account right now." And the advice for kids, teens, even young 20s, is you pile up cash so you have money for the things that you will need when you're an older teen, which is car And so that you moving out of parents' house, which is not home, move out of parents' house where you live as your home, and also graduating college debt free. And so that's the best thing you can do, and that's investing yourself, and that is the Ramsey's advice for children. I also want him to have a savings account. He works in the school cafeteria. He won't have income again till August. It all should be savings. Every bit of money he makes should be savings. He can spend some too, and he can give some away as well. Do a little bit of giving for something he thinks is a worthwhile charity. So he can do that. Oh, he won't have income again till August. Okay, so he's off for the summer. Oh, he can cut grass during the summer, something like that. He can find something to do. What are good savings percentages based on taking? It would all be saving. It would be using off his paycheck direct deposit. I was thinking start with a 5% IRA and 5% high yield savings and maybe work that up to 10 later, or start with 10 now, maybe a different percentage. No, it can all go in a high yield savings account now. Don't do retirement investing for a 14-year-old. I understand the earlier you put money in, the more it makes. I get that, but you need the money liquid to do your life with. And most kids do not have that. And so you just pile up all cash so that you can buy a car, unless mom and pop help you with the car or buy it for you or give you one of their old ones, which happens. But sometimes that doesn't happen and the child has to buy their own car. That happened to me. And of course I got a dumb loan for it. And so you just save up money for that. And I bought new as well, which was also dumb. In my defense, at that time, I had not heard of Mr. Ramsey. So yeah, moving out. What did I say first? Car, then moving out money, and graduating college debt free. So those three things, you just pile up cash until you get done with that. And then investing starts after you get your big boy job, when you graduate college or move out or whatever. And then that's the point where you start investing, and you will be low 20s. You will still freaking have 40 years in the market. You'll have enough money. Right, it's from Retail Pleb. What up, Sid? Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. And you can also, when you like and subscribe, use promo code SID. That way she gets a little taste. There's no money. My employer, I make a little bit on YouTube now. Not that much though. Maybe it'll kick up when Oak Island starts back in November again. Retail Pleb, my employer doesn't match. Should I leave that account alone? She said, leave this account alone. Hi all. Hi guys. I checked the frequently asked questions first, and I'm not sure I understand it well enough. It reads, IRA or 401k, traditional Roth. Dave recommends the following. If your employer offers a 401k match, first invest enough to get the full match. That is correct, sir. That is the first thing to do. If you haven't hit your 15% yet, which, that being the match amount, making you hit your 15%, that would be crazy. But I guess maybe it does happen. Open a Roth IRA and max it out. That's correct as well. If you haven't used your full 15%, go back to the 401k and invest the remaining amount. Yes, because you do get the taxable, tax advantage of not having to pay taxes on the contributions. Roth IRA is you do pay tax on the contributions along with everything else in your paycheck. And then you get free growth in the Roth IRA. That's why the Roth comes first, because if you have any appreciable, if you have over 10 years in the market, your contributions are going to be way lower than your gains, and so the growth. And so that's why Roth is always going to be second after 401k match, because match is 100% rate of return. And so that's always going to be first there. Does that mean if your employer doesn't match, then open a Roth IRA and max it out? Yes, it does. Your employer can also offer what is called a Roth 401k, and that has a much higher contribution limit per year. And so you can just do the Roth 401k unless you want to have your own account. You can have both accounts, a Roth 401k and a Roth IRA. You can have both. Let's see. Have no debt at all. Medical student loan. Nothing. Excellent. Have no kids. So I was like college money for. I rent. Do not have a mortgage. I'm feeling step 7 here. As soon as you start investing. I have an emergency fund about $25,000 saved up for my lifestyle and where I live in the country. I could probably not work for a year if I wanted to on $25,000. Okay. I think I have satisfied most of the important baby steps. What you talking about, Willis? They're all important. They're all important. They're all important. So most don't apply to you though, since you have no debt. So and you have the full emergency fund already. You have more than that much saved up. Than 3 to 6 months of your expenses there. Apparently low cost of living area. And so 25K would be more for, especially if you're not married. It doesn't say about that, whether it's a single person. Most of the important baby steps. Okay. I mean, you would be, the second you start investing, you would be, since 5 and 6 don't apply, you would be in step 7, at least temporarily, until you decide to buy a house or have children. Let's see. Employer nonprofit doesn't match. Okay. They do a profit sharing plan, which they make an annual contribution to. I cannot contribute into this plan. Only the 403B, okay? Okay, this account doesn't matter because you don't put money into it, so you just take it. I can reasonably expect something close to that every year. Okay, that's great. That's gravy on the biscuit. That's extra. They also offer an HSA. You can do that if you have a high deductible insurance plan. Okay, so you are doing that. Okay, so that's great. That's fine too. Employers do contributions to HSA if you can contribute a certain minimum amount. Okay. 4150. So if I contribute 3,400, they will do the remaining 750. Okay. You'd have to do the math on that one to see if 3,400 getting you a free 750 is worth it instead of investing it in the market. I guess that would still be the way to go. Yeah, so you can max both of those out. Yeah, and then it would be Roth. Roth, max that out first, and if you don't have a choice about the 403B, you would do that afterwards. See if they can do a Roth 403B. See if they have that option. Okay, and you should have put this in the match in the order here. The Roth IRA would be first. I guess you could say the HSA first. Profit sharing plan, that's just going to be extra, so you don't really need to include that in the question and so forth. But you did. Let's see. Given that they do not match anything that goes in, right? Does it make sense for me to increase contributions to it or contribute at all? You should be doing a total of 15%. If you can do that 15% all into your Roth IRA, then do that. But otherwise, actually, in step 7, you can invest more than the 15%. But the second you decide if you want a house someday, you may want to decide to start doing step 3B now, which would be you would save that money for a down payment eventually. Or, Dave's main advice, that would be save up the entire cost of the house to buy later. But, he won't yell at you if you do get a mortgage, though, on a house you live in. Would it be better off leaving the 403B alone and moving forward? Yeah, I would do the Roth IRA first. Make sure they don't have a Roth 403B option. And if they don't, you do the Roth IRA and HSA and do up to 15% in those. Thinking I could have the maximum amount per paycheck, put in HSA. Yep, yearly cap. And then anything more than that, I can put in the Roth IRA. I'll probably also maxing that out. Yeah, hopefully maxing that out. I suppose I don't understand the benefits and drawbacks of all the options to know where to best direct my money. It pretty much is explained here in the dealio here. That would be, but I mean that doesn't. None of this explains the individual investments that you would get in the Roth IRA. You would have to teach yourself about that, or you can hire a Smart Investor Pro to guide you and teach you all about the market. Alrighty. Once again, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And just wait for the crawl to get around. Upcoming streams. We have, well, this one's not upcoming anymore, but this one was upcoming. Answering your financial questions. That's the weekend stream. That is Saturdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. The same time the Ramsey video comes on during the week. The Ramsey Show Aftershow show today's already happened. That's on there, June 12th. The next ones are next Wednesday, June 19th, on Juneteenth, and Friday, June 21st, 2 days later. Again, I'm Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach, Steve Money. And you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation or assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. Alternatively, you can do Cash App, $ Coach Steve Money, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com is where that is. I don't know why I had to read my email address. I know what my email address is. And there we go for the upcoming streams. Alrighty. And so thank you so much. And the next stream will be the Saturday afternoon stream of answering your financial questions. And on that one, I don't do any singing or news stories and such like that. I just do answer questions. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. Please subscribe, like, and comment if you haven't done already. And if you have, do it again for fun. And now we say make smart financial decisions every day.